But Pastor, I don't understand it. I don't enjoy the Bible anymore. I don't thrill when I read the Bible. I don't tingle anymore when I read the Bible. Pastor, what's happened to me? Could you help me, please? Something's wrong. I don't feel like I used to feel about the Bible. Pastor, said another who sat across from me at my desk, could you help me, please? I don't enjoy my prayer life anymore. I can recall when I first learned to pray. I learned there was a throne of grace and that I could come boldly to that throne. I'll never forget sweet hour of prayer that calls me from a world of care and bids me at my Father's throne make all my wants and wishes known in seasons of distress and grief. My soul has often found relief and oft escaped the tempter's snare by thy return, sweet hour of prayer. But preacher, I don't enjoy my prayer time anymore. Why, I used to think of my prayer time as an audience with the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords and the omnipotent God bending low to talk to dust and flesh and hear me speak to him. But I don't enjoy it anymore. Preacher, what's happened to me? I don't like what's happened. Could you help me, please? I don't enjoy my prayer life anymore. Preacher, I'll be honest with you. I don't pray like I used to. I don't have a regular time of prayer. What's happened to me? Pastor, said another who sat across the desk from me, I'd like to resign my Sunday school class. I don't enjoy it anymore. I used to enjoy it. Could I forget that first Sunday after you gave me that little class of boys? When I walked in that class and realized I was teaching the only book that God ever wrote to the eternal souls of boys and little boys. And Pastor, I could not tell you how I felt. And Pastor, one morning, one of those little boys walked the aisle for salvation after Sunday school. And Pastor, I could not tell you how I felt. I was a Sunday school teacher, but preacher, I don't feel that anymore. I don't enjoy my class anymore. I'll be honest with you, Pastor, it's a chore to me. I don't tingle while I teach. Pastor, I'm resigning my Sunday school class. Pastor, said another who sat across my desk from me, would you get somebody else to take my bus route? I'm not enjoying it anymore. And Pastor, I'm going to have to turn in my resignation for my bus route. I don't like it. I don't tingle. I don't thrill. Oh, I recall that first Sunday and first Saturday when I worked all day and got a bunch of folks promised to come. I recall that morning when I packed that bus out with boys and girls and men and women and teenagers, and they came to church. And I'll not forget the first Sunday that they filed off that bus and filed into church when my man of God stood up to preach that morning. And there were my 40 or 50 people that I had brought. And Pastor, I saw a dozen or so of those come to Christ, walk the aisles, receiving Christ. I could not tell you how I felt. Oh, the joy of my soul and the thrill of my soul, I could not explain. But preacher, I don't enjoy it anymore. I don't enjoy my Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon visitation on my bus route. I don't have the same feeling on Sunday morning. To be quite frank with you, I'd rather lay in bed on Sunday morning. I just don't want my bus route anymore. Pastor, what's wrong with me? I don't understand it. What's happened to me? Wait a minute. Hold it a minute. Hold it just a minute. We're about to separate the men from the boys here. Because when you come to the place in your life to where you no longer tingle when you go soul winning, you no longer thrill when you go soul winning, you no longer want to go soul winning, but you go soul winning because it is your duty to go soul winning, you're about to become a good Christian. When you come to the place in your life to where you no longer tingle when you read that book, you don't thrill like you once did. It's no longer a joy and an excitement to you, but you read that book because God told you to read that book, and because it's your duty to read that book, you're about to become a child of God. When you come to a place in your life where you don't enjoy praying, and you don't like to pray, and you sort of dread the time when you've got to get along with God, and yet you say, I don't tingle while I pray, but you go to that prayer closet, same time, every day, same time over and over and over and over again. Why? Not because you tingle, but because God says do it. You are about to become a good Christian. When you come to a place in your life where that Sunday school class is old hat, you come to a place in your life you no longer want to teach that Sunday school class, and the excitement's gone, and the tingle's gone, and the thrill is gone, but you keep on getting up on Sunday morning, and you prod the church, and teach that class, and go soul winning, and visit those boys and girls, and do the job for God. Why? Because it is your duty. That's why. You're about to become a good Christian. When you come to the place in your life where it's no longer a thrill to get on that bus, you're tired of getting up on Saturday morning early and visiting all day, tired of getting up on Sunday morning early and prodding that old bus and pushing it downhill and pushing it uphill so you can push it back downhill to get it started, and you're no longer thrilled and not excited. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you exactly where fundamentalism is tonight. Fundamentalism has lost its thrill. It's lost its tingle. And because it has, it's lost its sweat and blood. We're no longer excited. And so what's happened? We've come to a place, we've heard all the songs. We've all heard this man sing. We've heard this man preach. We've heard all the sermons. We know all the cliches. We know what book they came out of. We've sung all the songs. And yet the time has come when we, as independent Baptist fundamentalists, are going to have to do what we're supposed to do because we're supposed to do it.